Have you ever wondered if one small mistake before a blood test could completely throw off your results, and even put your health at risk? For many older adults, this isn't just inconvenient, it can actually be dangerous. The truth is, everyday habits we don't think twice about can quietly interfere with test results. Sometimes they make things look worse than they are, other times better. Either way, the outcome is the same. Your doctor ends up making decisions based on numbers that don't reflect your real health. After years of learning from top heart specialists, I can tell you this: avoiding just a few common mistakes before a blood test can make the difference between getting an accurate diagnosis and going through weeks, or even months, of unnecessary stress and treatment. This isn't about trying to perfect your results. It's about giving your doctor the clearest, most accurate picture of your blood, your heart, and your overall health, so you can make the best choices for yourself. In this video, we'll cover 5 things you should never do before a blood test if you want to protect your health and avoid needless complications. And be sure to stick around until the very end, because the last one is something hardly anyone talks about, yet it can have one of the biggest impacts on your results. Mistake number 1: drinking coffee or tea before your test. This is one of the most common slip-ups. Many people think their usual morning coffee or tea won't affect anything. But both contain caffeine and natural compounds that trigger short-term changes in your body. They can raise your blood pressure, speed up your heart rate, and even influence hormone levels. More importantly, they can affect blood sugar and sometimes cholesterol readings. Even if you take it black, no sugar, no cream, caffeine can still shift your results enough to make your doctor think something is wrong when it's not. I once knew a man named Robert, 74 years old, who went in for a routine heart checkup. He had his normal strong coffee that morning, thinking nothing of it. His fasting blood sugar came back much higher than expected, and his heart rate was elevated. Concerned, his doctor ordered more tests. Robert spent weeks feeling anxious, only to discover that when the blood work was repeated without coffee, everything looked perfectly normal. Those stressful weeks could have been avoided with one simple change. Here's the key: caffeine stimulates your adrenal glands, causing them to release stress hormones like cortisol. That alone can shift your metabolism and interfere with results that depend on a true fasting state. When your doctor says, "nothing but water before the test," it's not a suggestion, it's essential. Ignoring it can create a false picture of your health, leading to confusion, unnecessary testing, and needless worry. For older adults, many of whom have several health conditions being monitored through regular blood tests, accuracy is absolutely critical. Your heart health, kidney function, and even medication adjustments often depend on those numbers. That's why, if your test requires fasting, the safest choice is to stick with plain water until it's done. Think of it as a small investment in your peace of mind. That morning cup of coffee or tea can wait an hour or two, but the stress of a false alarm could linger for days. Mistake number 2: taking your morning medications without guidance. It's common for seniors to take their prescribed pills first thing in the morning, sometimes before they've even had breakfast. After years of following the same routine, it becomes second nature. But before a blood test, especially one that measures fasting levels or organ function, taking your medication without asking your doctor can lead to misleading results. Certain drugs, including common heart medications, diuretics, and even over-the-counter supplements, can temporarily alter important markers like electrolytes, blood sugar, or kidney function. Sometimes they can hide a problem that needs to be detected. Other times, they can make a healthy number look dangerously abnormal. I remember a woman named Carol, 78 years old, who went in for her regular heart checkup. She had a habit of taking her diuretic pill every morning without fail, including before her fasting blood test. When her results came back, her potassium levels looked dangerously low, and her kidney function appeared worse than it actually was. This triggered extra appointments, unnecessary worry, and even a medication change that she didn't truly need. Later, once her doctor realized she had taken the diuretic before the test, they repeated the blood work under the right conditions, and her numbers were completely normal. The takeaway is this: it's not about skipping your medicine recklessly or going against medical advice. It's about timing. Some medications should be taken before a test, others after, and only your doctor can give you the right instructions. The safest approach is to ask your healthcare provider or pharmacist in advance. Bring a list of all your medications, including vitamins and herbal supplements, so they can guide you on what to take and what to hold until after the blood is drawn. Remember, your blood test is like a snapshot of your health at a single point in time. If something distorts that snapshot, you could end up chasing problems that don't exist, or worse, missing ones that do. Protect your accuracy, protect your peace of mind, and make sure your medication routine lines up with your blood test requirements. If you found this tip helpful, let me know by commenting number 2 below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss the rest of these important tips. Your support means so much. It helps us keep creating content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Mistake number 3, eating breakfast before a fasting blood test. One of the most common misunderstandings I've seen is when people hear the word fasting and assume it just means skipping coffee, or maybe having something light. But the truth is, if your test requires fasting, any food, even a small meal, can throw off your results in surprising ways. Eating breakfast, especially foods high in sugar, refined carbs, or fats, can dramatically alter your glucose, cholesterol, and triglyceride readings. These are some of the very numbers doctors use to evaluate your risk for heart disease, diabetes, and other serious conditions. So it's not something to take lightly. I recall a gentleman named Harold, 74 years old, who went in for his annual blood work. He thought he was being careful by only eating a couple slices of toast with jam and a glass of orange juice. It's not much, he figured. But when his results came back, his triglycerides were nearly double the normal range and his blood sugar was elevated. His doctor was ready to prescribe new medication, until Harold admitted he'd eaten breakfast. When the test was repeated under true fasting conditions, his numbers were far better. That unnecessary scare could have been avoided with the right preparation. Here's why fasting matters. After every meal, your body is busy breaking food down into glucose and fats, and these circulate in your bloodstream for hours. If your blood is drawn while they're still elevated, the numbers don't reflect your baseline health, they reflect the meal you just ate. For older adults, this consistency is especially important. Doctors are monitoring small changes over time, and they need a clear, accurate picture from one test to the next. So if you're instructed to fast, it really does mean no food at all, only water, for 8 to 12 hours beforehand. It's not about punishment or going hungry, it's about giving your doctor the best information to care for you properly. A skipped breakfast is a small price to pay if it prevents months of unnecessary stress or the wrong treatment plan. Mistake number 4, doing strenuous exercise right before your test. Many seniors think that getting in a workout before their appointment will show the doctor how active and healthy they are. But in reality, intense exercise on the same day as your blood test can skew your results. When you push your body, whether through weightlifting, jogging, or even long sessions of brisk walking, your muscles release enzymes, lactic acid, and other byproducts into the bloodstream. This can raise certain markers, like creatine kinase, which doctors sometimes use to detect heart or muscle damage. It can also temporarily affect your blood sugar and electrolyte levels. The result? Numbers that don't reflect your normal, everyday state, but instead the stress your body was under during exercise. That could lead your doctor to think there's a problem when, in fact, you're perfectly fine. The safest approach is simple. Avoid strenuous activity for at least 24 hours before your blood test. Gentle movement like light stretching or slow walking is fine, but save the heavy workout for after your appointment. By doing so, you'll ensure your results truly represent your baseline health, not the temporary changes caused by exercise. I once spoke with a woman named Louise, 68, who was very proud of her daily fitness routine. On the morning of her cholesterol and blood sugar test, she went for her usual 2-mile power walk, feeling energized and confident. But when her results came back, her potassium levels were slightly elevated and her blood sugar appeared lower than normal. Her doctor grew concerned and ordered more testing, which left her anxious for nearly a week. Later, once she shared that she had exercised that morning, it became clear that the unusual results weren't signs of disease, they were just temporary changes caused by physical activity. Exercise is one of the best things you can do for your heart, bones, and mind. But when it comes to blood work, timing is everything. The shifts in your blood after a workout are short-lived, but they're enough to confuse a doctor who's looking for stability and consistency over time. And for seniors, especially those being closely monitored for heart or metabolic issues, accuracy is essential in guiding treatment decisions. So if you've got a blood test scheduled, it's best to skip your morning workout. Stick to light stretching or gentle movement, and save your walk, swim, or gym session for later in the day. Think of it as pressing pause for just a few hours to make sure your results reflect your true everyday health. That small adjustment can save you from unnecessary retesting, extra medical costs, and needless worry. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any upcoming tips. Your support helps us continue creating content to keep you informed and inspired. Now, let's move to the final tip. Mistake number 5, drinking alcohol the night before your test. A glass of wine with dinner or a beer at a family gathering might seem harmless, but alcohol, even in moderate amounts, can skew your results more than you might expect. It can raise triglycerides, affect blood sugar, and increase liver enzyme levels. For people being monitored for heart health or cardiovascular risk, those markers are crucial in showing how well your body is functioning. Take, for example, a gentleman named Harold, 74, who had a routine blood panel scheduled. The evening before, he enjoyed a couple of beers at a small get-together. When his results came back, his triglycerides were significantly higher and his liver enzyme levels had nearly doubled compared to his previous test. His doctor grew alarmed, ordered further imaging, and even suspected possible liver disease. Harold spent weeks under stress, only to later realize those alarming results had likely been caused by the alcohol he drank the night before. The lesson here is simple: if you know you have a blood test scheduled, it's best to avoid alcohol for at least 24 hours beforehand. That way, your doctor gets a clear, accurate picture of your health, not a snapshot blurred by last night's drinks. By steering clear of alcohol the night before, you're not only protecting the accuracy of your test, you're also protecting yourself from needless worry, additional procedures, and potential misdiagnosis. On his follow-up test, after avoiding alcohol, Harold's numbers returned completely to normal. That experience showed how easily alcohol can distort results. It doesn't just affect your liver enzymes and triglycerides, it can also dehydrate you, making your veins harder to find and the blood draw more uncomfortable. Alcohol may even lower your blood sugar too much or cause it to fluctuate, which is especially concerning for anyone being monitored for diabetes or prediabetes. And when it comes to heart health, even small irregularities in these markers can lead to medication adjustments or extra testing that may not be necessary. That's why, if you have a blood test scheduled, the safest approach is to skip alcohol for at least 24 hours beforehand. This ensures your body is in its natural state and your results truly reflect your real health. One simple evening without alcohol can spare you from confusion, repeat testing, and the kind of stress no one needs. Final thoughts. The older we get, the more important it becomes to protect our health by making mindful choices, especially before something as routine as a blood test. These tests are not just numbers on a page. They are snapshots of how your heart, liver, kidneys, and overall body are functioning in that moment. By avoiding a few simple mistakes, like skipping breakfast when fasting, holding certain medications until after your test, avoiding caffeine, strenuous exercise, or alcohol, you give yourself the best chance of results that reflect your true health. That means fewer false alarms, fewer unnecessary procedures, and more peace of mind. I've seen too many good people, friends, neighbors, even family, go through needless stress because of results skewed by something as small as a late-night snack, a morning coffee, or a casual drink the evening before. Sometimes, the hardest part of aging isn't the physical changes, it's how small oversights can create big problems. The good news is, these mistakes are completely avoidable when you know what to watch out for. At this stage in life, we deserve clarity, not confusion. We deserve to work with our doctors from a place of accuracy and trust. And that begins with understanding how our everyday habits, even in the hours before a test, can shape the story those lab results tell. So the next time you see a blood test on your calendar, think of it not just as another appointment, but as an opportunity to prepare your body with care. A little awareness can save you from a lot of unnecessary worry. Thank you for spending this time with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned and how you plan to use it in your life. Reading your comments gives us motivation and encouragement to keep creating helpful content. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue producing content designed to inform and inspire. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.